You're listening to the Hope Revealed Podcast Network with your host, Matt Crump. The Hope Revealed Podcast Network is home to shows like Hope Revealed, God's Got This Stories, Fight School with co-host and Emmy Award-winning director Bill Nolan. On Clubhouse, the new international room called Let's Get Naked and Cancer FU, Fighters United, or his LinkedIn show called Matt Chat Live. Every episode of every show is designed to give you inspiration, motivation, hope, and the tools you need to navigate life successfully at home, business, or career. So now, your host, coach, consultant, and purveyor of hope, Matt Crump.
Man, have I got some great news to share with you, some fun things that have been happening lately, and welcome to another episode of Matt Chat Live. Gosh, I wish I could have episode together here today. I have them of some folks I've got interviewed. I have plenty of them, but I've got so much going on today, and I'm excited to share it with you. But I just wanted to come on and just me, so I won't be on forever, because I know that y'all get enough of me, right? So I just want to share some stories about things that are happening right now, and hope that it makes a difference for you and can excite you about some things we're doing in what I'm talking about here in the headline here today is our challenge. So I'm super stoked about that. A couple weeks ago, we had a gentleman on by the name of Dennis who did that on YouTube. You go to LinkedIn, but it takes a while to get to find old videos. But you can send my feeds to right? Or go to LinkedIn. I got it right there. It's pretty easy on playlist of Matt Chat Live. But anyway, fellow named Dennis, and he is from the UK, and he works with storytelling and how to craft and work with stories, right? So great fellow. He has incredible programs, some fantastic bonuses he gave away for folks to be able to really dig into their story. So with that being said, we have our challenge this week called My Story Challenge. So this week worked out the perfect timing from him to where we're at now with our challenge that we're doing. And there's about 60 people in the challenge right now. We have 60 people that are in there right now. Fantastic. So there are a bunch of opportunities for people to still come in and learn because we've got a lot of information. So I do a live video there every day in the event. Plus I have homework. Day 1 was homework. Day 1 and 2 was the same homework project. And day 3 today is a different one. So here's what the gist is about My Story Challenge. And if you're not there now, you can jump in and get part of it, because tomorrow I have open office hours, and I'm going to be working with the folks that are in the challenge and work with them on their open office hours in my office hours, like so they can do it. It says that you can't hear me too well. It's choppy. Thank you. Find out why it's choppy. It could be internet connection or something like that. Let me check my settings here. Audio. I know why. Oh boy, I bet you that sounds totally different right now, doesn't it? All right, so let me know in the chat if it sounds better to you. Unfortunately, when I start StreamYard, for some reason, it defaults back to my Bluetooth speaker for the microphone instead of my microphone, which is right here. So you should hear me a whole lot better now. All right, sorry about that. So again, welcome back to the show. We're having a blast. And I'm really excited about what's getting ready to happen here throughout the week. So I want to share that with you about the challenge, how you can be a part of that, how you can join in and do it again. But for those folks that are in the challenge right now, there's great opportunities for engagement. And like I mentioned, tomorrow I'm going to have the open office hours. All right. So I want to shout out a couple of folks before we jump into some of the information I could share with you about why you even do something like this challenge I'm talking about. What's it mean to you? I've got a couple of folks that I really appreciate that are sponsors here at Matt Chat Live. If you'd like to be a sponsor, contact me, reach out. We can talk to you about what that takes and how you can get on the show, and I can promote you as well. But I love the folks that I'm promoting because we have a relationship. I love to have a relationship with folks. All right, so the first one is a friend of mine. His name's Chris Webb. He is in Canada, and he's on the far west side, right there above Seattle area, Washington, right there above that, in the Canadian area, above the Canadian border, rather, on that side of the world. And he has a consulting company. He's got a fantastic website with an academy that has, I don't know how many are in there, a lot, hundreds probably of different videos and courses you can take to be able to expand your horizons and learn a whole bunch more. Besides that, he works with you individually, and he's got a team that helps with your team, with what you're doing. So he's a cool guy. His name's Chris. Here is a little bit about MF Consulting. Thanks, Chris. To create next level profitable growth. Man, I got like chest hair showing and stuff. You probably don't like that. Let me pull this up. I feel horrible. I'm sorry. It was just hot, and I was like, I need to throw my jacket on real fast. It's real right here at Matt Chat Live. We get down and dirty, right? That's why we got a show called Let's Get Naked. I'm just getting ready for the show at 7:00 tonight. That's all. If you haven't heard it, I'll talk about it in a minute. Whatever. All right, so let's back up to Matt Chat Live and our event for the week, which is called the My Story Challenge. It's hashtag My Story Challenge, and it's a 5-day challenge to create your story in 3-part video. So it's really, really fantastic. If obviously you think you know your story until you start getting into the process of pulling it apart. But when you're able to work on what your story is, and then condense it down and then break it up into a few parts, it's extremely powerful. So we're working on that now with a bunch of folks that are in the challenge. And right now on day 3, they have gone from writing their stories out, and now they are going back to kind of separate that out so they can do 3 different videos. And it could be from different parts of their lives where one part goes, the other part goes, the other part. It's a full story. So they're able to pull that out into 3 different parts. Now, the benefit there is, one, you can be able to tell your story in a few minutes. So if you're on stage, that could be like a 10, 15, 20-minute talk about your story. It could also be condensed down into something like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And it can also be condensed down to something to about 1.5 minutes, 3 minutes. So when you're able to do that, why would you create a video about your story? Who cares about that? One of the things I've heard from a lot of people, besides the fear of being on camera, is they feel like their lives aren't story worthy. Like they don't have a story that anybody cares about. And I don't buy that for a moment. I don't care if you're like the nerdiest, introvertedest, that's not even a word, but I just made it, nerdiest, introvertedest person in the world sitting back. Don't talk to anybody, because there's a story everywhere. So even for the person who sits back and doesn't do a lot of engagement with people, and they might be maybe your bookworm, or maybe a CPA, somebody who works with numbers all day long, or you work with figuring out statistics, I don't know. Let's just say you're one of those kind of folks. And you're thinking, why would I want to tell my story? Well, one is that if you're just like a statistic person or a numbers person, sometimes folks don't even think about who that person is as much. They just look at what your qualifications are. So let's say your qualifications are pretty standard like everybody else's. You might have a little bit more, a little bit less, might be even, whatever. But what could be the difference between you and a million other CPAs, or you and another million statistic people, or fill in the blank? But you have something that they don't, which is a story, something that somebody can engage with, because now they find out, wow, I get to know this person before I even do business with them. And I actually like this person, right? If they don't like you after watching their story and they think you're an idiot, then fantastic. You don't have to do business with them either. It's a really good bonus point, right? So the benefit of doing your story is to really have opportunity to engage with people and share who you are, and create some moments that are bonding moments, and places where people can feel like they can connect with you. And when that happens in a relationship, one of the things that I loved in my last business I had as a store owner, I had a music store, is I didn't just have clients and people coming in to buy stuff. I had relationships that were lifetime. They were lifetime clients, lifetime customers, right? And because they wouldn't go anywhere else. They loved us. They loved our story. They loved our people. They wanted to be part of it. They didn't question prices. They didn't question it. They knew that they could trust us for products they were looking for. So when you're able to create a story in a place where people can connect with you, there's tremendous benefit. And then when you can break that story up into pieces, you've got all kinds of content that you can share with people. All right, so back to that whole my life is boring thing. So let's say your life is boring. Let's say there's not much to it. You just do your work. You've led a good life. You're pretty decent. Haven't hurt anybody. You haven't been hurt. You haven't gone to jail. I mean, just kind of a standard good old person. That's fantastic. All right, so ever think about this? Like, I didn't grow up with a perfect life myself. I made a lot of mistakes, which led into drugs and alcohol and all kinds of other mess that I won't even bother to get into. Some of you already know my story, but I had a rough life by my choice. It wasn't necessarily my parents' fault. It was my fault. I made decisions. So when I'm able to meet somebody, because I had a friend of mine, I'll tell you why I'm about to say this. I had a friend of mine who told this to me a long time ago, and it really rocked my world. I had a friend growing up, and he was a very good person and very well liked. He was a Christian and a good boy and a good Christian singer, all that kind of stuff. Now, he didn't have a ton of friends in high school because he was a Christian, right? So you have that whole thing where you have Christians and jocks and brains and all that kind of stuff, right? But he was a good guy, so he had a lot of friends. So he's just a good person. But when I was in high school, I was doing drugs, I was messing around with girls, I was doing all that kind of stuff. And he really wasn't. He was a really good guy, did good things. He served community. He served at his church. He sang songs. He actually inspired me to sing. He was fantastic. But I remember at one point in my life, after I had gotten out of the military, I found him and invited him to come see me. And when he saw me, one of the things he was thinking about was like, Matt, you've been through all kinds of stuff. You've been through the drugs, through the alcohol, through war, through all these things. You've been through all these things, and you've come to the other side of that story, and now you can tell people about it, and it's a big deal. He said, I haven't done anything. I've just been a guy who's been good and done my work and done school and sang songs and went to church. I haven't experienced anything like that to be able to tell people how I've been changed or delivered or transformed. So he made a decision to say he wanted to go out to do those things. He intentionally went out to make mistakes so that he can go through the mistakes with hopes that he would come out on the other side good and better and be able to come back to what he was, only different, and be able to tell the story because he'd had one. Yeah, it sounds that way to me too. I mean, that's not the way to do it, folks. I mean, what I really honored and respected about this guy, still do in his life, is that I wished I could have lived what he'd lived when I was a kid. I wish I had some of the things he had in his mind, his family, his life, because he made some choices and he did some things that I didn't do. And for somebody to do that, he's an extremely strong person, a strong man, someone who's willing to sacrifice and lay things down and be strong enough to go against the flow, against the grain, and make some choices that not everybody else was making. And you stand out different. And he did. And I would rather have done that than been a drug addict and alcoholic and all the stupid stuff I did. I would rather not know what that's like. I would rather not have that story. I do. So my point being is, even if you're that kind of a person who just has led a good life, been pretty good, hadn't hurt anybody, done some good things, that story is worth telling. How did you do that? How did you have the strength to do that? Was it somebody in your life? Was it a parent, a grandparent? Was it a friend, an aunt, an uncle? What influence did you have in your life to be able to live the way you did, to make the choices you made to get to you where you're at now? I mean, those are some powerful things for people to know that may not. I didn't at that point know how to do those things. And I bet you there's some adults today that will listen to your story and be able to gain some great value from those moments in your life. So don't tell me you don't have a story. You got a story. If you're breathing, you have a story. right? So you don't have to be with my story to say you've got one. I'm no better than you. There's nothing about me that makes me any better. There's nothing that my stories can achieve greater than yours. That's a level playing field, my friends. It is. It's just a matter of you being able to engage with it, understand it, have clarity with it, and be able to effectively communicate to other people. Thus enters hashtag my story challenge. That's why I'm doing it. I'm so passionate about people being able to tell their stories, because when you do, and you do it the right way, it can transform lives. It can change things. It can actually change yours. It'll bring people to you that you haven't had. So why do I make this stuff up? Why do I do this, Matt? Why do I need to create a video? Why do I have to make it? Because it makes a difference. I mean, if you can make a difference, and it only takes like a 2-minute video to change somebody's life forever instead of just clicking on an ad, come on, it's worth it. So if you haven't gotten to the challenge yet, you can go on by there. It's here on LinkedIn, hashtag My Story Challenge, the 5-day challenge and 3-part video. Or you can jump in at another point, because after this is over, I'm going to save some of that stuff and relaunch it again. I don't know when, but I'm doing it now, and you can get into it right now and be a part of it. And like I mentioned, tomorrow I'm going to have some office hours set up that I'll be sitting right here at my desk, and you and I will be able to converse about how to get through phase 1, day 1, with the PDF that I've got there, and then the PDF documents for day 3 today, and the 2 parts that I have to be able to put your 3-part video out. Okay. So that's our challenge. Hashtag My Story Challenge right here at LinkedIn, and really just nail it. Now maybe you already tell your story. You think, I got it down, man. I've got it perfect. Do you? I mean, is it really working? Do you have people constantly telling you how incredible it is, how your stories changed their lives? You might have some of it, but I mean, do you have a lot of it? Do you have a lot of people coming to you that they want to do work with you because they've heard your story? I think that there's always an opportunity to improve, right? So maybe if you've been doing that, you tell the story, that's probably good, and it's probably done well. What's wrong with figuring out if there's something else available to you that might make it a little better? So, or you might have something that you know that I don't, because I'm not perfect. I don't know everything at all, I guarantee you. But you might have something you could put inside the community that can make the difference. It could be powerful. It could be like, Matt, I heard everything, but when you just said that, Sally or Joe or Fred or Mary, whatever, it really just clicked for me. And that makes a lot of sense. So you're welcome to come by. It's still open to the end of the week. We're there till Friday. And unfortunately, LinkedIn, the way that they run the events and their stuff here is that it has to be set at a certain time, and at a certain time, and then it's over, like forever. You're done. You can't do anything with it again, unfortunately. I wish you could just turn it evergreen, or copy it and turn it into the same event and do it again. But unfortunately, you can't. So that being said, it's only this week, guys. No, I'm not trying to do any scarcity tactics with you. It's like for real. Like it's just for 1 week on LinkedIn. But I'm here all the time. Well, as long as I'm breathing anyway, and I'd be happy to help you. But if you jump there, hopefully you'll be able to find some value in what we've been doing, and maybe it'll make a difference in your life and the lives of those you're trying to communicate with. I guarantee you have a story. Oh man, I'm so scared to get in front of a camera. I can't do what you do, Matt. I can't talk in front of a camera. I can't do that kind of stuff. Yes, you can. Do you talk to anybody during the day? You ever have a conversation with anyone? Have you ever talked to a mailman or a cashier at the register at the store? If you've done that, you've had a conversation with somebody else besides talking to yourself, you can do this. It's the same thing. It's just instead of a flesh body in front of you, it's a hard piece of plastic and some steel, but it does reach those flesh people, and it makes a big difference. All right. So, love to have you. Come on by, jump into the event page with us there, and be a part of My Story Challenge. All right, so tonight, the next part is going to be on Let's Get Naked. But before we do tell you about Let's Get Naked tonight, our show at 7 p.m., I would like to hear a little bit about one of our other sponsors, the second one here on the show today, and that is my great friend Danny Shannon in Australia with his company called Encapsulator. All right, so Danny Shannon's company, Encapsulator.io, and talk about perfect timing with this challenge, like when you're here to tell your story. So Encapsulator is a digital time vault, and it's all about story. It's about telling your story to yourself. Like you can tell yourself things and be able to lock it away in a vault. I don't know if you've ever done a time vault yourself. I have to slow down. Sometimes I talk really fast. I know, I apologize. That was so funny. My hand hit the wrong button. So one of those things that I think is so cool is the opportunity to engage with yourself, right? So somebody else just said they couldn't hear me. Let me make sure here. Are we on? Check 1 2 1 2. Hey. Check. All right, we should hear. I saw the red lights. That means it's peaking at that point. You all should hear me pretty good, I would hope. All right, so with Encapsulator, what I really love about his product, instead of placing, you're like, well, I can do a video and put it on YouTube or on Vimeo or whatever. Yeah, you can. But this is different. Like you make something that's intentionally put into a vault and locked away for a period of time. You set the time, and then you're able to come back and check it out. Now, why would you do that? Well, maybe like myself, involved with drugs and alcohol in the past. Danny, for sure, has been. He was a drug addict as well. And there was a period of time when he went through a rehab center. And you'll know that rehabs are set up usually in time. Some are 30, 60, 90 days, some 6 months, some a year, some as long as it takes. And while you're in there, when you come in to do a video of why you came, right? Sometimes people choose to go. Now, some people are like forced against their will. Sometimes maybe they won't want to do it. But let's just say you're there because you want to change. So you come in and you're ready to change and you want to do some good things and get your life straight. You can talk to yourself. Say, hey, Matt, here I am now. And this is what I'm feeling now. And I do this and I do that. And I feel like I can't get past this and I can't do that. And right, whatever. You tell your story yourself. And I wish I'd be able to, blah, blah, blah. All right. So you come back like 2 years later. Like I think Danny did after a while. He came back and looked at the video and he saw himself. He's like, oh my Lord, I can't even believe that was me. I don't even remember being like that. Wow, what a difference. It makes a massive difference to be able to see that. And I've accomplished so much. I feel pretty good, right? So there's ways you can do that personally. And then there's other ways you can do it. It's being used in companies, corporations, and teams. You can do some forecasting and planning and goal setting with that. There's psychiatrists and doctors that are using it for therapies, for people to be able to record things and then come back to it at a different time. So there's all kinds of options, but the way to get a part of it is go to encapsulator.io and you click there and join. It's not that much and it's pretty fun. So check it out, Danny Shannon's encapsulator.io. All right, so tonight, let's get naked at 7 o'clock. Like, I'm not asking you to get naked at 7 o'clock. Well, yes, I am. I'm not physically, but mentally for sure. So at 7 o'clock Eastern time, every Wednesday night, Let's Get Naked is a show where we have an opportunity to really shed the layers, remove the veneer, and open ourselves up to other people so that we can share the things that we've wrestled with the most, that we're afraid to really admit or talk about to anybody. It could be that you have impostor syndrome. Maybe you're watching a show or somebody else and saying, man, I'm getting, like for me, for example, I do this kind of show. I do this stuff all the time. And I'm talking right now. We might have a couple of people watching. Thank you for watching, by the way. Might be that maybe we have 100 people watch later on today. And then I'll look at one of my other friends and they might have had 50,000 people watch their show. I'm like, well, doggone it. I show up every week. I do stuff. People like my things and we got good guests. And why am I only got 100 people and they got 50,000 people? They're no better than me, right? You get this whole thing. Now, you're not really going to tell everybody about that, but you're feeling it. Then there's fear, doubt, lack, right? You've got those other competition, right? The guy's show has got more than you, and you're secretly on the inside saying, I'm going to beat him, I'm going to beat him, I'm going to pass him up, I'm going to do this, right? He's no longer really your friend anymore. He's an object. He's something to overcome and an obstacle in your way that really isn't supposed to be an obstacle, right? He's just doing something else, and you can do it too. So we talk about those kind of things for folks that are living in the social media world and or other places. We've had lots of different guests come in. I remember a few weeks ago, we had somebody who owns an art gallery who came in, and she brought in some great perspective as we were talking about time management and how we value ourselves and value our times. And because she owns an art gallery, she was talking about the artistry of what we do and how to understand the value of the artistic expressions that we have.
Like for me as a singer and a songwriter, as a content creator, a videographer, a graphic designer, right? The things that I like to do and create and give to you. That's the artistry inside of what I do. I don't sit here and think all the time like I'm an artist, right? I just really just do what I do. But there is benefit to thinking things like that. So that conversation happened that lasted for 2 or 3 episodes because so many people were wanting to talk about it. And we just have a blast. It's so cool. It's safe. It's not a huge room. We don't have hundreds of people in there. And we try to make sure that everyone that's in the room has a chance to be on the stage, be able to share their story. We rotate through with a thought process, and we pass it along. And it's really cool, no matter who you are, to be able to hear what you have to say. So if you'd like to do that and be a part of a group of those kind of folks, and there's some incredible people, you'll find some great moderators that we have in there from around the world, and it's really been so much fun. One of my good friends I've known longest in that group, his name's KJ Wong, and some of you may know who he is. He does some incredible videos from Australia. He is Asian, and he came from Malaysia to Australia when he was very young, and there's some things that he has passions about as a result. And one of the things he loves is the community he lives in. He thinks it's beautiful, and he wants to share it with the world. So he shares his sales content while experiencing some things in Australia. Like, I don't live there. I've got a lot of friends there now. I'm so grateful for everybody in Australia that I know and all my friends. I just can't wait to show up there one day. But I mean, I've had these dreams of seeing the Opera House and going to the Outback and, all those kinds of things that you would think of if you're not from Australia, because them they're like, what do you mean? I'm just seeing us down the street 2 blocks, right? But for me, it's like, oh man. So I get to experience that through them and through stories and through expressions. But KJ, he goes with his camera and he does this footage every time he does content on LinkedIn. That's something somewhere in those areas or on his trips. So he's really cool, and you're going to really like him. But he's one of the great moderators that we have there in the room. You'll just enjoy it. So you're welcome to come tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on Clubhouse. That is Clubhouse. The room is called Let's Get Naked. Now, there is an event here on LinkedIn. You can go to the event page, and I'll be sending some invites out here shortly from that page. And if you'd like to come there, then you can get the direct link to Clubhouse to go there. But if you're on Clubhouse, just look for Let's Get Naked. Pretty simple. You can do me. I'm at Matt Crump. But I think you'll probably find Let's Get Naked pretty fast. So we have that show tonight, 7 o'clock, where we're talking about being vulnerable. Being vulnerable, right? I was vulnerable, but like, what's the big but in vulnerable? We're going to find out tonight. All right. So come on with us at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a great conversation. We usually hang out, do some networking for 20, 30 minutes before we really get digging deep into the topic, and just having some fun with each other. And that's what's fun about the room. So can't wait to find you there. 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. It's 4 p.m. Pacific. And for my friends in Australia, it's already Thursday morning at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is when the show starts in Australia on Thursday. All right. So that's about it for tonight. I hope you've been able to hear me better. I don't know what the problem was with audio today. I'm using the same gear I always use. It did have that problem on the front side where it used the wrong microphone, but it changed over. So hopefully you can hear me better now. Anna and Camille said both that it was bad 10 minutes apart from each other. So I tried my best. Hopefully we made it all right. Okay, so I'm trying to think of anything else I want to share about on this episode. Now, next time on Matt Chat Live, I will have a guest, and it's going to be pretty awesome. So watch for the announcements, watch for the little spot I'll create, and I'll share that sometime first of the week. Well, end of the week, probably weekend, and first of the week here. I've just got to go help get through this challenge right now, but we're gonna have a good time. One of my past episodes I did was with his name's John. He's an action hero. He's a former stuntman, and he now does some motivational speaking and helps teams with being able to work together as a team, having confidence, and he does some really fun stuff to see that through. So besides being a stuntman, he's a comedian, he's a funny guy, and he does some really cool, he's got some little tricks up his sleeve that he does And he makes an incredible opportunity for people, especially when it comes down to groups like teams and corporate gatherings. So be watching for that episode with John the Superhero, because I think that one's coming up next week. All right. So that's about it for me, y'all. I just want to do a quick recap. By the way, don't forget right now, if you'd like to go, it is live on LinkedIn. It's the My Story Challenge, #, My Story Challenge. You can join us if you'd like. It's absolutely free. There are zero obligations there in the sense of payment. You're not have to pay me a dime. So a lot of the training that we're doing, I know myself and other people can charge $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for what we do with this type of training. And you're going to get it absolutely free all week long, including the engagement, the chat room, and open office hours with yours truly. We can process how you're getting through what you're doing. All right, so join us at the challenge. Do that. #my challenge, #my story challenge here on LinkedIn. That's about it. All right, so I just want you to remember that, hey guys, we're going through a lot in this world. This year has not been as easy as people thought it would be. We all know about last year, but this year's not, it's just a little different, isn't it? But here's the good news. There's opportunity and there's hope. I don't have time to go on this, but I have a lot of difficult challenges in my life. A lot of them right now. Some of the most overwhelming challenges I've ever had in my life. And as much as I would like to just wave the white flag and quit, I have hope. I have hope. I have hope that things are possible. I have hope for you too. I have hope that things are possible for you too. And you can do this. You're not alone. You just have to ask for it. You can look for it, but you're not alone. And as much as times I feel completely alone myself, there's times I feel completely alone. I'm not. Someone calls or texts or shares something that reminds me why I'm here. You're here for a reason too. I don't care who you are. You have purpose. And there's a great one for you. So don't forget that. Whatever dark moments you find, whatever horrible places you may be experiencing or have gone through, wherever you're at, there will always be a hope revealed. Thanks for joining another episode of Matt Chat Live. We'll talk to you next time. Same Matt channel, same Matt time.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode here on the Hope Revealed Podcast Network. If you'd like to find out more information about this episode or learning more about Matt's coaching or consulting services, resources, or booking information he has available, please visit mattcrump.tv. And thank you again for tuning in. And remember, in any dark place or any uncertain moment, right around the corner, there can always be a hope revealed.